This training will walk you through how to use the Archivists Toolkit for accessioning. The Archivists Toolkit manages information about the materials held in special collections. Click on the icon on your desktop or Start menu to start the program. When you log into the system, you can access the accessions portion of the database by double-clicking on the Accessions button to bring up a list of previous accession records in the system. To enter a new record, press the New Record button below the menu items. Doing so will bring up a blank record form in a new window. The accession record form includes 5 tabs for entering information about the accession transaction: Basic Information, Accession Notes, User-Defined Fields, Names and Subjects, and Acknowledgements, Restrictions, and Processing Tasks. The first of these tabs, the Basic Information tab, includes core data elements such as the accession number, the accession date, and the accession title. The Basic Information tab also includes links to resource records and deaccession records related to the accession. The Accession Notes tab provides space for recording more detailed summaries of information related to the accession, including a description of the materials being accessioned. The third tab, User-Defined Fields, is currently not used in our implementation of the Archivists Toolkit. The fourth tab, Names and Subjects, allows for linking to subjects and name records, including creator and donor records. Finally, the Acknowledgements, Restrictions, and Processing Tasks tab is used for recording information about processing tasks and restrictions related to the accession. While the Archivists Toolkit allows users to record a wide array of information about accessions, in the Perry Special Collections the following fields are required. On the Basic Information tab, accession number, accession date, resource type, at least one physical description, collecting area, and at least one date. On the Accession Notes tab, the acquisition type, and on the Names and Subjects tab, a name link to a donor name record. Now, let's go through the process of entering a new accession. Again, from the main screen, click on Accessions in the left-hand navigation pane. Then, to begin a new record, click on the New Record button below the application menu items. A blank record will then appear in a new window. Users should first enter the accession number created in the Archival Identifiers Generator website. Each component of this number should be entered into a separate component field in the interface. The first should include the A prefix with the year of the accession in this format. The second field should include the month of the accession in this format. The last of the component fields will be the sequential number of the accession. The next field after accession number is accession date. This should be entered in this format. You should then select the resource type from the drop-down list. Options include papers, records, and collection. At least one physical description entry should then be made for the accession. To enter a physical description, click on the Add Physical Description button. A separate data entry dialog will then open. The total extent of the accession should then be entered in linear feet in the extent field, and linear feet selected from the extent type drop-down. Clicking on the OK button will then close the dialog and return the user to the accession record window. Next, you should confirm that the record is associated with the correct collecting area. If not, click on the Change Collecting Area button. Select the correct collecting area from the list in the dialog box and click OK. This should return you to the accession record window. Finally, at least one date needs to be entered. To add a date, click on the Add Date button. As with the extent entry, a separate data entry dialog box will open. Dates should be entered as a human-readable expression, as well as normalized using the ISO date begin and ISO date end fields. Date certainty, type, era, and calendar may also be entered in the date entry dialog. Once the date information has been entered, click OK to close the dialog and return to the accession record. Turning to the Accession Notes tab, you should first select the type of acquisition from the drop-down list. The most common type of acquisitions in special collections are gift, purchase, and transfer. If you would like to add a summary description of the material, inventory lists, or other information about the accession, these may be entered in the appropriate boxes within the tab. Switching over now to the Names and Subjects tab, we will associate the record for the donors of the accession material. To add an existing name record to the accession, click on the Add Name link button. A Name Lookup dialog box will appear with a list of available names. Select the appropriate name and select the function Source for material donors. You may then click on the Link button to add the donor name to the accession record. If there are multiple donors, you may then select another name record for linking. If the donor of the materials does not yet have a name record in the Archivists Toolkit, this may be added using the Create Name button, though name record creation will be described in a separate training. Once all donors are linked to the accession record, click on the Close Window button to return to the accession record. If you do know the creator of the materials being donated, you may also link to their name records using the Add Name link button. As records are linked, however, instead of selecting their function as source, it should be marked as creator. You may then specify the role of the creator by selecting the appropriate term from the drop-down list, before clicking the link button and returning to the accession record. Finally, if there are known restrictions on the materials being accessioned, these should be recorded in the Acknowledgements, Restrictions, and Processing Tasks tab. If there are any restrictions on the materials, including either access or use restrictions, the Restrictions Apply checkbox should be marked. If there is an access restriction, then the access restriction checkbox should be marked, and if there is a use restriction, then its checkbox should be marked. Details about the access or use restriction should be entered in the appropriate note field. Once all of these fields have been filled out, the accession record is complete. You should then click on the Save button at the bottom of the record, and once it is saved, you may click on Close. If you have any questions, please consult your curator.